Amari, what kind of measuring stick is Sunday's game at Seattle?
I don't know, but what I do know is they're a really good team. Obviously, they're undefeated, and they're playing a lot of good football, especially offensively. And so anytime you go into a place and beat an undefeated team at their place, it says a lot about what you have on your team.
When you look at the tape, Amari, what did you see from Seattle's secondary?
Those guys have been making some plays. They're pretty good playmakers back there in their secondary, and I'm just looking forward to going out there and competing.
Amari, how would you assess what was working so well for the receiving corps against the Falcons, particularly in the second half of that game?
In the second half of the game, obviously we knew it was kind of do or die. We didn't have any time to waste possessions, and so we just had to lock in and go out there and make plays for the team so that we can, kind of get the comeback started.
Do you say to yourself, how can we get that do or die feeling, whether it's from a play call standpoint or even just the chemistry you showed from the beginning of the game?
I wouldn't say we didn't have that feeling from the beginning of the game. It's just we had a couple of turnovers that derailed us and kind of held us back, and so that was something that we had to fix too.
You guys
we've seen a little bit in that. We've seen a lot of aggressiveness from Mike McCarthy in his decision-making and game management, which is in sharp contrast to, I guess, at least the perception that we had of Jason Garrett. How is it different playing for an aggressive type of coach as an offensive player?
I would say, for me, it just tells me how much he really wants to win, how much he really wants it, and that kind of has me. It kind of makes me feel like, dang, I understand how much he really wants it. We need to go out there and win this thing for him. You know what I'm saying? Well, not just for him, but for us too. But when you kind of have that, when you kind of notice that your coach really wants to win that badly, it's like it just feels like a good thing, and you feel like you want to accomplish that for him.
In your experience, can that what you guys did in the second half against Atlanta carry over, or once the game's over, that's pretty much it?
It can. It can, but each game is a story of its own. But so I have seen where teams do carry that momentum onto the rest of the season. And so I can't accurately answer that question because obviously we haven't played a game yet after what we just accomplished. So I guess the rest of the season would be a better answer to your question than what I can say verbally right now.
Amari, can you take us through what you saw when you watched your 58-yard catch on film?
Well, I wish I would have been able to run full speed. I couldn't really do what I wanted to do. Otherwise, it would have been a touchdown. So I just stuck my hand out there and caught it with one hand. The way I've been practicing it. The way I practice one hand catches is like I practice it as if I can only catch the ball with one hand, and usually it sticks, but it didn't stick. And so I had to kind of bobble it and catch it. So, yeah, that's it.
Were you not able to run because of your foot? Thanks, Clarence. Were you not able to run full speed because of your foot and how you're feeling?
Yeah.
How are you this week with it?
It's better. It's a lot better. I've been practicing and I've been running full speed, and so it's definitely gotten better over the course of the past week or so.
Laura, I know you were excited about the potential that you
put you last year in camp, and now you got another.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Are y'all in the same room?
Last year.
No.
You got some footage. No, unfortunately, we need a moderator, but that's not happening right.
Go ahead, David.
Amari, start over again. I guess if you talked about how excited you were about the potential of you and Michael Gallup and CeeDee Lamb together. It's short sample size here with 2 games, but how have the 3 of you played off of each other? How do you feel it's working at this stage of the season, and what do you see about where it is?
Yeah, I think we're all putting some good things on tape. Whether we leave the game with 50 yards or 100 yards, we're all putting some good things on tape, and I think it can only get better from here. I'm really looking forward to the day where all of us, get in the end zone the same game or have 100 yards the same game, because I know it can happen, and I know it can happen often, and I know when it does happen often how lethal the offense could be.
Can you go back to your second game? You had over 100 yards. What did that do for your confidence? Maybe going in to show you, hey, I can do it at this level. And is there any part of that you think that might happen for CeeDee?
Yeah, so I was actually thinking about that. After he got his 100 yards, his second game of his career, and I realized I had got 100 yards the second game of my career, and for me, it just gave me that reassurance or that assurance that, hey, I can play in this league, because that 100 yards is like kind of that threshold to where a receiver can claim he had a good game. And so I felt like my second game of my career, I felt like I had a good game, and I felt like that was something that I could continuously do.
Last question.
Amari, have you guys... That's Clarence. You can go. Clarence, hit /Star Telegram.
I'm sorry. Amari, have you guys talked about the Breonna Taylor verdict and just your thoughts on the cops not being charged for shooting?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't talked about it as a team, but, it's something that has definitely been on my heart, crossed my mind. It's just, again, to reiterate some of the things that I've been seeing in the media, it's just, I'm not surprised by the verdict because it's been happening over and over, but my heart goes out to her and her family.